I want to share with you what fits inside. I did kind of, after the video, we did toss those sunglasses back in, so they're sitting a little funky. Hello friends, I'm so glad you came to join me today. We're gonna be checking out the gorgeous Louis Vuitton Noe'l. So if you enjoy all things luxury handbags, reviews, and more, make sure you like and subscribe, drop a comment below and introduce yourself, and let's jump into today's video. All right friends, so like I said, today we're checking out this beautiful Noe'l. This is a Noe'l, and it is a perfect size for everyday in my opinion. I want to share some of my favorite things about it with you though, and just some things to consider. So first, jumping right into it, I just want to share with you about the straps. So one thing that gets a little confusing sometimes is the straps. So on this one, I say it's a little confusing sometimes, or misleading rather, is because you have this double shoulder strap that comes with the bag. So this strap actually is a one-piece connect. It's kind of like a two in one. So you have the two shoulder straps in it, and it fits like a double strap. However, it is one shoulder strap, so you don't have any crossbody with it or any of that, and it's not adjustable. It kind of gives a look like it might be crossbody or have some kind of adjustability to it, which it does not. So that's something to keep in mind. However, if you do need to make it longer, it is fully removable. So you can add that bag extension right there as well. So the other thing about this bag I absolutely love is the top handle. So this handle is nice and thick. It's the leather and it sits so comfortably on your shoulder as well as arm carry. So this one you can carry by your hand, you can carry on the crook of your arm, wherever, and it is so comfortable. Even on the shoulder, the way it's designed, it sits so seamlessly, and I think you're gonna really love it. So the other thing to keep in mind with this one is this is the leather. It does come in the canvas as well, and it is extra slouchy and comfortable. And right now I do have it full. We're gonna do a what's in my bag, but I wanted to give you a look of what it looks like full, because this bag, like I said, it's kind of smushy and slouchy. Now, without doing a total what's in my bag, let's just move some of the items out and see what it looks like if you have a little bit less, because if you do, it gets a little bit extra smushy. So we're gonna we'll take out some of the chunkier items that I have in there and give you an idea. Let's see, I have a giant sunglasses case. We're kind of doing a pre what's in my bag. Okay, so can you see what I mean? That you get a little bit extra slouch to it. The top pull has this little leather piece, and you can just pull it a little bit tighter if you don't want it fully open and you kind of want to have it pinched together a little bit more. And that's what it looks like. I love this. I love the slouch of it. I love the comforting fit of the shoulder strap or the top handle, either one. Both of them fit so comfortably. One thing to keep in mind is this does fit kind of like a double strap. It doesn't quite sit right underneath the other part. So it does sit kind of like a double strap. So that's just something to keep in mind, whether you like that or not. But this bag is so comfortable. It does not have feet on the bottom, which actually I really like. I'm not a huge fan of just feet on the bottom of all of them. I do not think it actually risks anything with your bag. The feet, in my experience, don't necessarily protect the bottom, but they do kind of get a little clanking on different things. And I know that there's some concern for that, but I don't feel like it adds an additional risk to your bag. So with that said, I think this is a really great option, and it holds up really, really well. I do know there are a couple concerns with this piece, and I want to go ahead and address those with you. So one thing that some people have brought up is about the cracking along the top. Now, this is something I haven't had on mine. There's more of an issue with it sometimes with canvas we see, but that was more of if there was a recall, it was questioned, if there was a recall on it. And the biggest thing that I saw was it was an environmental and use thing that kind of happened. It was kind of a situation that you had going on. You had this, if you had a dry environment or heavy use with the canvas and how it would sit and smush together, and it was just almost like it got too dry. But we don't always see that, and I think that this is a great option. I would just keep that in mind if you tend to be in a more dry environment. Maybe you can use some of the conditioner. I do like to condition my canvas on my bags. I know it's kind of to each their own, but I found that it actually seems to be pretty helpful and it works out well. So I do have a video on how I clean and condition if you want to check that out. But like I said, today we're talking about the Noe'l, and this one is one of my favorites. This has been so much more of a comfortable, easy, classic bag than I was expecting. So I had one years ago and I used it in canvas and I did really like it. But the leather one, there was just something about that extra smush to it, the extra slouch that I really, really enjoyed. So let me know in the comments below, do you prefer the slouchy look? Do you prefer those organizers? I'm curious to hear from you all. But the other thing I wanted to talk about was, like I said, you have that pull at the top and then the interior. So you have this gorgeous like suede lining and you have this middle compartment. We're going to talk more about this in the what's in my bag because this is a little bit different than some bags. So we have this compartment, as you see, right in the middle. Now, if you have one that was not after the date codes were made, this is a little tricky if you want a third party to authenticate because those date codes almost get inside this stitching on the seam inside the pocket. It's about impossible, it feels like, but you'll be able to find it. I know you can do it if you need that third party to authenticate. But without further ado, let's check in. Let's do the try on and the what's in my bag to give you a better idea on fit, style, and what fits inside. All right, friends, so like I said, we are doing a what's in my bag today. I want to share with you what fits inside. I did kind of, after the video, we did toss those sunglasses back in, so they're sitting a little funky, but they kind of go down like that. Okay, so this is how it looks with the top open. You can also use the clench if you want to close it a little bit more and have it closed, you know, a little bit more at the top. I do have it pretty full right now just because I put a little bit more than my essentials in there. I had a couple extra pouches that I'm using, and that's just kind of how it went. So I am actually using this bag right now. And like I said, I needed those extra things. And so, you know, it might get a little messy sometimes. So this is kind of, or not messy as much as just full. So it is what it is. This is what it looks like. I do want to talk a little bit about how this works a little bit. So what I mean by that is you have this open tote style here, and then you additionally have this little pouch. This is connected. So as we go through, I want to share with you kind of what this does. It's connected at the center of the bag, and as you can tell, it kind of pulls it in a little bit. So it doesn't, you know, open up any farther than that because it's stitched on either side. With that said, what this actually is a pouch with the bottom that is not attached. So the bottom of this pouch does not go to the bottom of the bag, which I just want you to keep this in mind when using it, because when the pouch does not go to the bottom completely, what we end up seeing is that if you have smaller items, they slide through the bottom and they can go to the other side. So for instance, some of my things that would slide, like, let's go ahead and get started here. So like the nail kit could go ahead and slide under it. And I'll try to see if I can show you guys, you know, what's in there. So like the manicure nail kit, the card holder stuff, you know, smaller things like that. I was trying to see if I could figure out if you'll be able to see it. It's probably just like a couple inches. Let's see, maybe. I don't think we can see it till we unload this. So let's just see what fits inside. So like I said, we had that nail manicure kit, hair clip, my Dior glasses case. That's my regular glasses, like reading glasses. Then I have those Louis Vuitton glasses. And what do we have? Vintage. This is the vintage pouch. I had like Kleenexes and different things. It's kind of a catch-all. One of the little snack bars and the card holder. This is actually a vintage. This one's vintage. They're not all vintage, but this one is a pocket organizer. It has this like little compartment on the back so you can add cards if you wanted or cash or whatever. It works out really well. So I like that one. It's pretty lightweight. And we actually yesterday went on a road trip and I did have, I think it was like 3 Chomps meat sticks in here. And so they're not in here any longer because I told you guys I always have those. And I actually don't have them because I had them. So 2 packs of that pure gum that we always have on hand. Oh my goodness. My daughter actually, she absolutely loves that gum. And the other day we were at the store and they had a sour version and we all tasted it together. It was so good. So we had fun with that. We like doing fun little things like that as a family, but we really enjoyed it. All right. So I have a couple pouches today. This is what I was talking about with extra. So I have the Toiletry 15, which I normally do have, and the PM pouch. But I was actually kind of using both of them at the same time. In this bag, which I haven't been for a while, I have kind of been trying to use just one, but it gets tricky. So that and the 6 key holder. I am looking to switch up some of my SLGs. So if you have any favorites, drop them in the comments below, and maybe I'll check them out. I've been looking for some, you know, just different things to kind of switch up my collection a little bit. All right, I want to see if I can show you this at all. I don't know if I can. So at the bottom, There we go, maybe. So the pouch is, let's see, we're really gonna try here. The pouch is leather. And honestly, it's, yeah, you could, let's see, my keys are going under there. So yeah, my keys are in there as well. I don't want to try to make you guys dizzy and spin this, but I do want you to see where it is not at the bottom. So you could have a few things going under. It's actually, so you have the suede lining. This is a leather pouch that matches like the leather on the bag, but the bottom, it's connected all the way until probably 2 inches at the bottom. So it actually isn't connected right here. It kind of goes around because it's, it was like a separate pouch that's sewn in, if that makes sense. So that's kind of what you have going on in there. But when it's not full, remember I said it's super slouchy, and I love it for that so much. You have a little bit of structure in the base with, with how it's built, but the craftsmanship on this bag is gorgeous. I absolutely love it. The black leather with the gold hardware is absolutely stunning. It is one of my favorite color combos. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite pattern is on the Noe'l. I'm super curious. There are so many options now. It is such a beautiful piece, and I love that it's really unique and that sometimes it's just something you don't see every day, but it is an absolutely gorgeous bag. So I'm interested to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments below. And without further ado, let's check out how this gorgeous bag fits. All right, friends, so like I said, we were doing a try on today of this stunning piece by Louis Vuitton. This is the Neo Noe, and I am absolutely loving this bag right now. So like I said, it has that gorgeous slouch to it that I love on the leather. It can go over the shoulder or it can go on the arm, either or. So even that top handle, this can go over the shoulder. I like this one more on my arm. I find it really easy to use and carefree, and it sits so comfortably. So the other option we have here is the top strap. So this is a little unique, like we talked about in the video. This actually is a double strap, but in a single strap. It's really different, and I like it. So there we go. That's how it fits on. So it's just something to consider if you don't prefer a double strap, but it sits, like I said, like a single strap. So it's a little bit different and unique, and I absolutely love this piece. So let me know, have you guys tried out the Neo Noe? Have you tried out a regular, traditional Noe? I'm curious to hear from you guys on what you prefer, especially in the prints. I'm really curious. Do you guys prefer canvas or do you prefer a leather? Let me know. I love hearing from all of you. But like I said, that's what this bag looks like on. And if you like all things authentic luxury handbags, reviews, and all that good stuff, make sure you like and subscribe. You guys joining me here in this community is so, so wonderful. But until next time, bye friends.